John, Europe has got serious problems that are getting worse. They're not getting better. And until they deal with them and reorganize a lot of debt, it's just going to continue to cause problems worldwide. How do we counter it? I've sold short shares in Europe. That's how I've countered it.
What needs to happen here? The European Central Bank has to come in a very large way like the Federal Reserve did in 2008?
No, John. What the Federal Reserve did is making things worse. The Federal Reserve has tripled and quadrupled the debt on its balance sheet. America's quadrupled its debt overall. The next time we have a slowdown in America in 2012 or 13, it's going to be a disaster. America shot nearly all of its bullets. If Europe does the same thing, then Europe's going to shoot all of its bullets. John, you better move to Abu Dhabi. You better move to Asia, because things are going to get worse and worse in the West.
Is this a case where Europe has swept too much under the carpet with regards to the size of the state, pensions, and the debt, and now it's all coming to roost in a slow growth environment?
Absolutely. Very insightful and very well said. Europe has done exactly that. They just passed out money. The politicians passed out money to anybody who asked for it for the past 20 or 30 years, and now we're going to have to pay the price. Europe may be able to get through one more round, but I doubt it. America, of course, is in worse shape, John. America's the largest debtor nation in the history of the world.
Are the Asian economies basically benefiting from the fact that they went through that crisis in 1998 and 1999, and they're fitter now, and this is allowing them to grow despite the crisis in Europe and America?
That's a very good example, John. In 98 and 99, Asia had problems. You know what they did? They let people go bankrupt. They failed. They reorganized their financial system, their banking system, and they came out much, much stronger. Now the largest creditor nations in the world, John, are China, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore. The assets are now in Asia. They took their pain, and they recovered and have done a good job. In the West, we're refusing to take our pain. We're trying to just say, oh, we'll get past the next election. We're propping up zombie banks and zombie companies, and we're just, we're sinking deeper and deeper.
In this sort of environment, then, let's get to the nuts and bolts. Where do you put money? I know you've been hot on soft commodities. You're suggesting that gold has a long ways to go. Even rural land is a good investment. What would you advise people now?
Well, John, I'll tell you what I'm doing. People have to make their own decisions. But I am long commodities, especially precious metals, and especially agriculture. And I'm getting involved with agricultural land as well. I'm long currencies. I have sold short technology stocks in the U.S., European stocks, and emerging market stocks. I see perilous times ahead, so I hope that I'm prepared in the right way.
We saw a $40 rise in the price of gold earlier this week, and the hedge fund money has been coming in a very substantial way. Is this a bubble forming for gold?
John, it's nowhere near a bubble yet. I suspect you know very few people who've ever actually bought any gold. If you go to America, you see shops everywhere saying, we buy gold. The public is lining up to sell gold. Someday those shops will say, we sell gold, and the public will be lining up to buy gold. There's very little of that now. Very few pension funds, mutual funds, very few investor institutions of any kind own any gold, and if they own gold, it's 1 or 2%. That's not a bubble, John. A bubble is when everybody is begging to buy gold all day long.